And now a message from Alex Vaughn.
Hey, Brez. This is late getting to you, so I'm not even sure you can get this on the podcast. Do you have the technology to do so? As I write this with my thumbs, I am training from Bruges to Brussels, then connecting to Cologne if this train ever gets there. I'm listening to some Elton John. Oh, I'll listen to some Elton John if I don't make it. Editor's note, sure didn't make my connection. What an ordeal that was. What's new with you? No, I'm just kidding. Don't respond to that. Finished up in Paris by seeing the frickin' Mona Lisa and that one meme-painting guy who's gangster pointing with a cane. Who knew it was real, let alone in the Louvre from Paris went to Bruges. Bruges is a city. So nice they named it twice. Okay, that was a lie, but what a lovely town. Can't wait to return. I climbed the Belfry, ate a crap ton of waffles, and washed it down with a buttload of beers. Oh, what torture that all was. Biked around town, which is great, until you realize you're biking on 11th century cobblestone. Not too pleasant on the keister. Yeah, well. Oh, and I saw the Canadian band in Germany, and boy, was that great. Gives you the freedom to meet the band and buy them a bevy. 2 for 2 in semi-club booze offerings. Semi-celeb booze offerings. Go me. Missing y'all and the parents and the Patriots and all that jazz. Actually, I don't miss jazz at all. Getting tired now. Going to stop writing soon. Okay, done. Late. All right, thanks, Alex. This is the Triple Threat Podcast. It's 2 members as of now, but you just heard from member number 3. He's definitely the 3rd member.
Oh, definitely.
I'm 1, you're 2, he's 3. Welcome.
That numbering system, but
whatever. I'm William Vaughn, coming to you from Vancouver, British Columbia. With me, as always, is Matt Vaughn from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Man, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Can I reflect on a couple things Alex said?
Yes, you can. There was a lot. There's a lot of information.
There was a lot. Alex has no fear about the length of these things.
Yes. No fear.
He made a point to say he's going to listen to some Elton John if he doesn't make it. Now, is that a riff on the Elton John song, This Train Don't Stop Here Anymore?
Maybe.
Because if it's not, that's a bad choice of artist to make that connection with.
Yeah, right. I'm not sure. I think that was also a song kind of after his heyday, right? That was like 90s.
Yeah, I think it came out like 2000 or something because Justin Timberlake played him in the music video.
Okay.
Do you remember the one that's like kind of slow-mo?
I don't remember the music
Or is
video.
that the one? Yeah, that's the one with that one. I don't remember what the one with Robert Downey Jr. is. I Want Love.
That's very optimistic casting, by the way. To have
Justin Timberlake?
Justin Timberlake play Elton John. We love Elton John and all, but ain't the
he's never.
He's no
never
JT.
Justin. Yeah, it's true. And yeah, the other one Alex was referring to, he had a booze encounter with some cast members of Mr. D previously.
In Europe?
No, in Halifax.
A booze encounter. What's since Alex isn't here to tell us that story, do you know it, Matt?
Yes. Do you know Mark Little?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Mark Little, Alex is at a bar with people. Let's see. I'm probably not gonna get this right.
He's at a bar with people.
I don't care.
So far, it sounds like it's very plausible.
Alex is at a bar.
I enjoy that with people.
With people. Someone was like, "Hey, look, there's the cast of Mr. D, including Mark Little."
Yeah.
And so Alex was like, "Hey, Mark Little, I really like you as a person, or I guess specifically as a comedian, as a person who knows." And so. He's like, "Can I buy you a beer?" And Mark Little was like, "Yeah, definitely, you can do that." So
I insist, sir.
Yes, so that was that. I feel like he may have told that. Regardless, he also drank with Hey Rosetta. I think is what he's saying.
Yes, that's the name of the band.
Now he made a point of not saying who it was. I wonder if I just ruined everything.
You probably ruined most things because he probably said, "Hey Rosetta." Sorry, he said, hey, Rosetta, listen to Triple Threat Podcast, and I will mention that I saw a band. I'm not going to mention who exactly, and your anonymity will die with me. Your secret will die with me.
Die with me. I will take you to the grave.
I'll take you to the grave. Not with me. I'll take it to the grave, my own, and I'll be by myself, and you guys will still be alive, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully they're still alive.
Or maybe not. We don't know.
Yeah. What do we have to look forward to this podcast?
Oh, again, it's so much.
Would you set the table for us? Hold on, I'll get the tablecloth out first.
Yeah, get the tablecloth out. Get the nice placemats.
Sure.
Yeah, make sure you buff the silverware, buff all the water spots off it. This week, we're going to discuss our team's current football situation. None of them played yesterday, but Baltimore played on Thursday, and the Patriots had the week off, which hurts my fantasy team a little bit because I crushed last week. It was a good week. And
who do you got for the Patriots on your fantasy? Okay, sorry, I guess we're gonna talk about that.
I had Blunt and Edelman.
Oh, nice. Well, Blunt kind of went off. I was really
he went off. And I also think it's very funny when people are like brag about their fantasy team. Like I didn't do anything. I just picked guys who do stuff already as a job, and they happen to perform well that week. And the combination of all of them happened to do very nice for you. But it's like when your fantasy team gets over 150, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh, but it's a lot. But it is fun. I do catch myself bragging about fantasy success, which is tremendous fun. But some people, as we discussed on the show, have title belts, trophies.
Title belts is awesome.
It is awesome. They take this fantasy thing very far. I was awarded a title belt last week on my birthday when I won my Mario Kart tournament.
Nice.
Yes, the kart. Nice. The tournament.
What was the belt? We're a little into wrestling here.
It was the WWE World Heavyweight Championship that Eric Bischoff presented Triple H in 2002, and it lasted until last year.
That's how that belt is best known.
Yeah, that's how that belt is best known. Basically, it's the 90s WCW title.
I'm excited when my anniversary with my wife is longer than WCW existed. That's a real milestone. I'm looking forward to celebrating.
Isn't that going to be a good time?
I don't know the exact numbers, but it's going to be called the WCW. What do you get your wife for that one? For WCW?
You get her
Atlanta.
You get her robe, Ric Flair robe.
Ric Flair robe, or you fire her via fax.
Via fax, yeah. Or you send her a royalty check for $0.00. You know, all those great things WCW did.
Oh man, so worth it.
You give away the results of your competition on live TV.
Yeah. Well, what would that be in a marriage? You'd be like, hey, you know that attractive guy down the street? You had a good day at work.
Yeah. That's not so much giving away results. This is kind of telling somebody something.
I mean, you could really tell that to anybody. Sorry, one last thing before we spend the next hour and a half talking about WCW.
Yes.
We're also going to spend, I guess, kind of last half of this podcast, or at least the end of the podcast, we're going to talk about The Martian.
Yes, we're going to discuss the film The Martian at a certain point. We're keeping an eye on the clock. And it is going to be spoiler-ific. So if you haven't made your way out to the cinemas or got the book, it was a book, Matt. I don't know if you know
was
that.
A book, Matt.
Yeah, it was a book, Matt. It still is, actually. It still is a book. It doesn't stop being a book.
They burned every copy because
they
said no.
Yeah, and they deleted every file from Kindle Dumb. No, we're going to from Kindledom. We're going to discuss The Martian in the last half of the show. Yeah. Also, I want to discuss some video games I've been into.
Sure.
Lately.
I think we were supposed to talk about that last week. Was there anything we were supposed to get to last week we didn't get to?
I think so, but if we forgot about it, it's not that important. If we didn't get to it, it's not that important. We just have lots of stuff to discuss. We have some fun stuff. Oh, and I have some plugs that I might as well mention right now. Edward is screening tonight at the Vancouver Playhouse, 8:45 p.m., 600 Hamlin Street. So $600. I mean, yeah, I could sell my ticket for $600 if you guys want to go. But
how many times have you seen it at this point?
This is twice. No, sorry. Well, tonight will be 3 times. I've seen it twice. I was with Ian Hanlon's friend of the show on Friday at the Canadian premiere at the Cineplex International Village Cinema, and it was a nice full house.
Everywhere you looked.
Yeah, everywhere I looked. Danny Tanner was there. Nice house, and everybody enjoyed it. They all applauded at the end, which I'm sure Alex enjoyed. But hey, I was there, so
you were there, yeah.
Yeah, they were applauding me. I was supposed to do an intro, or asked by the producer if I could possibly do an intro, but they there's a guy who represented the festival, kind of did a little intro. And at the end, they're like, okay, nobody's here? All right, good. All right, everybody, if you're going to the next, not nobody's here, but nobody from the movie's here. I don't really make my presence like.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to big time them either.
Yeah,
no. Just so you guys know, I'm here.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna big time
in case
anybody.
You were wondering.
It's like I was saying to Ian. It's like if I went out to say something, it's like that. There's an episode of The Simpsons where they go to the mall. And it's like, here's the surviving cast of Bonanza. And it's just like two Native American guys. It's like, on the show, we were always trying to kill the Cartwrights. Looks like time beat us to it. All right. It would have been that sort of thing. It would have been yes, Edward, starring Michael Eklund and Sarah Canning. And to talk about the film, here's guy number 26, Will Vaughn. How you doing? Hey, everybody.
That was a weird name for your character, just so I'm on the record.
Guy number 26.
Yeah, I hope I can see that major motion picture someday.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Can you pirate it and bring it for Christmas?
I think I might be able to. I might be able to, but
it's good fun for the whole family, right?
It's fun for the whole family. Yeah, we'll bring it to Grammy's place and we'll screen it for her. She'll really enjoy it.
Hey, Grammy, this is what I do for work.
This is what I do for work. What do I do for occasion? I don't even do this for work all the time. I just do it sometimes. Yeah, I might be able to pirate it, but I definitely wouldn't admit that on the air.
Of course not. And no. I mean, pirate probably isn't the proper word.
No, I hope by the end of the year it'll screen in Halifax someplace.
That's what I'd like to. I'd love to see that in teatros.
Yeah, it's a good looking flick, and it lends itself well to the theater. It's it's
IMAX. Did you guys shoot in IMAX?
Yeah, it's like right next to the walk.
Oh, good. That's
yeah,
awesome.
we're screening it after the walk. So after you've barfed your guts out watching the walk, apparently, you can come and watch Edward. And
wait, are people barfing their
apparently
guts out?
people barf their guts out? It's a little extreme, but yes, apparently the walk is making people with vertigo ill in the theaters.
Okay. Public service announcement to everybody with vertigo is going to go see the walk. Don't do that.
It's like, I'm afraid of mountains. I'm going to go watch Everest.
Go watch Everest. Yeah, I'm afraid of going to Mars and possibly dying there. Don't go watch The Martian.
Don't watch The Martian, yeah. That's some people's experience with that. I like that comes out, though, from time to time when a movie's out. It's like, this movie's making people sick. It's like
Cloverfield was one of them, right?
Like,
where the shaky cam kind of got to people.
Yeah, it's like maybe some people are going to feel a little ill, but
yeah, if half the audience was getting sick every time, I think we'd have a bit of a crisis. Crisis alert!
I watched a review of a movie the other day called Zombie. It's the Italian movie. It was on the list last year. It was
It doesn't have another name.
It's called Zombie 2 in America. So people didn't confuse Zombie with Dawn of the Dead, which is out around the same time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
And that movie stars a guy, apparently it was supposed to be James Bond, or maybe he was up for it. I wasn't sure. I don't know the guy's name. I'm gonna find it, and
if you could.
Once I say it, you'll be like, who? And I'm like, I don't know.
I'm hoping. I'm pretty up on my Bond lore, man.
Bond lore.
Pretty much.
Good. What the heck is it? Sorry. This is going to take a long time. Yeah, Zombie Flesh Eaters, 1979. A guy named Richard Johnson.
Of course.
Yeah, right? There you go. Of course, that guy.
Entirely a very unique name.
Oh, he died earlier this year. He died in June.
Sorry, Richard Johnson.
Yeah, so that... what was I going to say about Zombie?
You're watching a review of it.
That movie, they put a warning in front of it. And they provided moviegoers with barf bags.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, in case the movie got too intense. So I guess you got to offer that with the walk.
Yeah,
or maybe finish your popcorn quick, and it doubles as a vomit receptacle.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Every time I have popcorn, I'm like, well, in case I hurl.
So something like that, right? I also read an interview. Earlier this week with
Will, how do you find the time to do all this stuff, man?
A podcast favorite. I know I've done 4 things this week. And I'll talk about all of them. With a podcast favorite, Ben Mendelsohn.
Amazing.
Apparently, Ben's blowing up this year.
Ben's blowing up.
He got nominated.
Unsurprisingly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How exactly are you supposed to ignore that guy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How exactly?
I mean, he's been performing or at least getting work consistently well ever since I started paying attention to him in Dark Knight Rises.
Since Dark Knight Rises, yeah, that was.
He's in Place Beyond the Pines, playing the same character he usually does.
Yeah, he's in Exodus as the Pharaoh's
No, is he seriously in Exodus?
Oh, did I ruin that? Yeah.
No, I need to see. Oh man, if you didn't tell me that, I would.
It is, and it's on Netflix right now.
Moses is being quite a distraction, sir.
Yeah, apparently, according to Ian, he's basically the same sort of character.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And John Turturro is the Pharaoh, and Aaron Paul's in there too. Didn't know that.
John Turturro, that seems like bad casting.
It seems like it. Yeah. I got to watch this movie.
I have not seen it. You know what? I own the Ten Commandments. I am a big fan of that one. The best part about Ten Commandments, it opens with the director. Is it Cecil DeMille, that one?
I think so.
It starts with it opens with a shot of a curtain, and then a microphone comes out from the floor, and Cecil DeMille comes out and introduces the movie.
Yeah,
and it goes into the overture. It's awesome.
It's very polite.
There's a nice. There's a substantial intermission in between too.
Yeah, nice.
Which you could just play. You could just let play and then go to the bathroom if you have time.
Sure. Yeah, play it in real time.
Yeah, it could work really well.
Guy directed 80 movies. Holy cow!
Right?
Says Peter Mill. Almost. I think Ridley Scott's almost on track for.
No, he barely worked for so long though.
I suppose so. Yeah.
We gotta talk. Well,
we'll talk about that later.
How will our hearts stop beating for Ridley Scott and his movies?
That's true.
Sorry, on Ridley Scott, but not on The Martian. Did you see that there's a new name for Prometheus 2?
I did. It's Alien Paradise Lost.
That's interesting.
It is interesting.
I'm such a sucker for Alien now.
You are, right? Yeah.
I'm just
you're pretty new to the Alien party.
I am. I really am.
So am I.
Yeah, it's fair. And do you come down on a side of the Alien versus Aliens debate?
On which one's better?
Yeah. No, which one's longer? Which do you?
Which is longer?
Yeah. Just kidding. One's directed by James Cameron. Obviously, Aliens is 1,000 years long.
Yes. Yeah. It's is it that long?
I think it is literally a millennia long. It took 10 millennia to shoot.
Literally a millennia long. I mean, they're two completely different movies. The first one introduces this awesome space monster, and the second one's like the action movie where they go track him down. Yeah,
they're like, you know how that last one was difficult to kill? Yeah, these ones are pretty easy to kill.
Yeah, because they have guns.
They have guns. It's true. And I'm not saying, hey, these are the same movie, but I am asking, which do you prefer?
Which do I prefer?
Yeah,
I think I prefer Alien.
Yeah,
it's great. Just the concept of someone trapped in a space station with an alien, with a monster.
Yeah,
is awesome. It's spaceship, and it was.
The video game Alien Isolation. She's on a space station with Alien.
You play a little bit of that?
I didn't. I really wanted to, but I did watch the complete Let's Play series done online. I think mostly by PewDiePie.
By PewDiePie, I've been watching a lot of video game YouTube channels.
I think it lends itself very well to it.
Just people playing video games. One of my favorite channels right now is one called Up Up Down Down, which is done by WWE's own Xavier Woods, who's part of New Day, plays trombone. He's going for his PhD, and he's a tag team champion also. But it's him and wrestlers backstage playing video games. So they'll have like Street Fighter tournaments. Currently, they have this massive Madden tournament going on right now.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they have all these like gamer gauntlet challenges. He also has ones where he'll just be like playing at home, playing something called Jump Scares, where he's just playing like scary video games. He's got Superstar Save Point, which is him and somebody else is being like, he's got him and Seth Rollins playing Turtles in Time.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. I'm a big fan of Up Up Down Down. Just seeing the wrestlers hanging out backstage.
I mean, if there's one person I'd like to see play Turtles in Time, it's Seth Rollins.
It's Seth Rollins. Is the champion.
Forgive me. Is he the world champion still?
He's still, yeah.
No
longer is he the world champion and U.S. champion, though. That ended at Night of Champions. But they actually just broadcasted a show from Madison Square Garden on Saturday. I didn't get a chance to see it yet. I recorded it, and I'll be checking that out soon. Also, anybody in Canada who has the WWE network, that $12 network thing that we have, that used to just be the channel, now we get the whole thing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so we get Canada gets the full the full on-demand network. And like they didn't really like make a big announcement. They just kind of like, all right, get the WWE network available through your cable provider and now online. Anyway, so
I mean, the reason they couldn't do that is because they sold it before, like it was already there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well, what they have is they call it the Net Pack subscription package, which is too many words.
Oh, such good branding.
It's too many words to describe how you can't do that much. So it's too much describing how you can't do enough. But I'm excited to have that up and running so I can access it from my computer, which is nice. But there's supposed to be a WWE app for PlayStation. So you can just, like your PlayStation, you just go to Netflix, right?
Yes.
They should have like the same thing, but they don't have that.
They don't have it in Canada?
They don't have that in Canada.
I don't think they have. They don't have one for the Apple TV either because it hasn't popped up there.
Yeah.
Although they are turning Apple TV into it's got a tvOS. It's going to have an Apple Store. An App Store on there. I do have an Apple Store story actually after this.
Good. So, yeah, and I can also access the network from the app, so I can watch anything I want on my phone. But watching stuff on my phone isn't a selling point for me. What happened to the Apple Store?
Well, so this was the situation. So I have my iPhone, and there's a camera in the front now.
Mm-hmm.
I say now
since the 4.
Yeah, exactly. So when I looked at my camera, there was like a little bit of it looked like essentially part of the camera structure was falling onto like over the lens of it. Like it just looked like a little gray fuzz was on there, and so I was like, "Huh." So when I was at the Apple Store, I was there on the launch day for the iPhone 6s just to mess around with one.
Yeah.
And when I saw a guy, I was like, "Hey, by the way, I have this on my phone. What do you think?" And he was like, "Oh, we should replace that." I was like, "Okay, sure." So he was like, "Yeah, so come back, like book a Genius Bar appointment and come back."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds good. So I went yesterday to the Genius Bar appointment. And it's funny because I'm pretty sure they have geolocation on your phone. So when you have a Genius Bar appointment and you're there, they just kind of like go to your blip on their iPads.
It's like Aliens, right? You get the little blip.
It's like
an
Aliens, exactly. Boop, 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 boop. Thankfully, I didn't attach them to the wall and then make eggs out of them.
Yes, yeah.
But I could have, and I'm glad, and I'm especially glad that Nazir, who helped me out, did not use a flamethrower on me. Also, nice? Something I'm grateful for.
That's good. That's what you get with Apple. You get good customer service. They will not use a flamethrower on you. That should be on their website at the very top.
They have the guaranteed no flamethrower. So he took a look at it. He's like, "Yeah, sure. We're going to replace the whole display. It'll take 90 minutes. Is that okay?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Had a coffee.
I heard 90, and I thought it was going to be 90 days.
It's going to take 90 days.
It's going to take 90 years. So he had a coffee.
90 years.
Because they're at the shopping center.
Halifax Shopping Center, that's right. So they're at the HSC. Something plus about moving back here is that we have one. Saskatoon is still sadly without one. They still
but they'll probably get one, though.
I think they will. And
they
I hope so. Something I actually really appreciate about the display replacement, too, is that I had just the smallest kind of crack or a kind of chip in the top left corner, which is usually covered by my case, but it was there, and I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, I don't have a chip there anymore.
And that's gone.
So I went and they brought it back. It's like this. It looks brand new because you look at your iPhone, you just look at the screen pretty much. Like
the phone is just the display. You don't look at the back of it.
No, and it's got a case on it, so you wouldn't tell.
There you go.
But it's like brand new. The camera on it is completely unhindered, which is great. There's no crack on it, of course.
Nice.
Now they also had to replace the Touch ID button, which I only realized because I was clicking on it and I was like, "Ooh, that's real clicky."
Real clicky. Is the Touch ID button the home button at the bottom? Is that what they call it?
That's right. Yeah.
It's a Touch ID button. Okay.
Yeah. What kind of phone do you have?
I have a Motorola StarTAC, and
hey man, those were awesome back in the day.
It makes calls. I'm very happy to say.
Legit, very good phone.
I was watching Iron Maiden concert from 2008, and it's so funny to see everybody's phone recording the concert. Everyone's flip phone. I'm like, what a bunch of losers.
Yeah,
no one has an iPhone.
Even in like the Dark Knight, I think that Commissioner Gordon has like a Palm Trio.
Yeah,
and like if you watch that movie in 2008, you're like, oh, it's cool. He's pretty advanced, technically speaking.
Yeah, exactly. You see it now, you're just like a stylus. What the heck is that?
Also funny if you watch that movie and like what Morgan Freeman's getting all worked up about with like spying on everybody. Very kind of prescient with the whole NSA thing. Not only that, I feel like that fully exists somewhere. I'm sure New York City looks exactly like that in Gotham.
Yeah.
They just don't have the Lucius Fox to be like, this is wrong.
Yeah, like a submarine, Mr. Wayne. Like a submarine.
Yeah. Anyway, so I went to the Apple Store and they fixed my phone and it was super nice.
There, another plug for Apple. Thanks, Apple. You guys are great.
Thanks, Apple. Hey, man, I am pretty much an Apple apologist. Some people say fanboy. I don't know.
You're a Steve Jobs guy. I want to get that T-shirt for you.
Yeah, is that a?
It's Paul Heyman. It's a Paul Heyman thing. It's a
okay.
Paul
I was
Heyman.
like,
I'm a Paul Heyman guy T-shirt.
Because if there's a Steve Jobs T-shirt, it should be a Steve Jobs turtleneck.
Yes.
Let's be clear about that.
Steve Jobs T-shirt.
So, of course, when Steve Jobs comes out, I want to say 2 weeks from, kind of today, like not this weekend, next weekend.
Yes,
I will see that, and I will probably talk about that too.
Yes, I'd like to talk about it. They had a very nice looking trailer. One more thing I wanted to mention, is a video game I've been playing that I didn't know I wanted until I saw a bunch of YouTube videos about it. But when it was announced, I was like, all right, that sounds like a neat idea, but people can kind of already do that. It's a game called Super Mario Maker.
I'm glad you got this. I've only heard little things about it. I really want to hear what it's like.
I'm very glad I got it too. It was a birthday present from Mr. Ian Hanlon, who's friend of the show.
Nice.
And when I got it, I was like, thank. Like I didn't really ask for it. He's just like, I don't know if you wanted this or something else. I'm like, no, this is perfect. This is great.
Did he do the classic present thing where he's like kind of kicking the ground? Like, I don't know. I just got it. Like,
it's got a gift receipt. You can punch me in the face if you don't like it.
Exactly.
Which is very polite of him, right?
I suppose you can pants me and call me names.
You can use a flamethrower on me if you want to. I mean,
you can do it. It's okay.
I won't be upset. I mean,
I'm an evil creature.
Super Mario Maker. So, in the midst of our Mario Kart tournament that we had last week, I was also passing the controller around and playing a bunch of Mario Maker. So,
can I ask a real quick question? Sorry.
What
version of Mario Kart did you play?
Mario Kart 8.
8, okay.
The newest
Definitely
one.
Was holding out for 64 or SNES. That's okay, though.
Yeah. The SNES one I'm very bad at. I was never good at that game. I'm terrible at it. Yeah.
I feel like I'm okay at that one.
Yeah. No, it's way harder than you remember unless you...
remember how good the multiplayer was with the 4 kind of box level? In
Mario 64. 64 is great.
Man, that's so good.
Yeah, and that's the one thing this Mario Kart 8 is definitely lacking is battle mode. The battle mode's awful. The battle mode in this...
There's no battle mode in 8?
There is, but it's not battle courses. It's regular courses, and you just got to kind of zip around and find your way around those. And, it's not...
They probably took Fridays off when they made that game, didn't they?
Right, yeah, I think so.
Guys.
Yeah, they went to...
together.
Absconded to TGI Fridays. Because they've added so much stuff, too. They've added more courses and characters in the DLC. I'm surprised there's no battle mode DLC. Because that maybe it's not as sought after as I thought. But yeah, Super Mario Maker. So you boot this thing up, and it's like, Mario's running through World 1-1 of Mario 1. He's zipping through that, and then there's a big gap. And they're like, looks like this level isn't finished. Want to finish it? Here's the tools. And then you get like some ground and some bricks and some question marks, and you make your own thing. You can get them to the end. It's like, great. And then after you do that, you can make courses, and the more courses you make, the more stuff you get. And you can make it in 4 different palettes, basically. So there's Mario, we'll call it Mario 1, right? The first Mario on the NES, right? Where Mario, who everybody knows him wearing a red shirt and blue overalls. He's got like a brown shirt and red overalls in that game. If you notice that,
it's not really the Mario that you would expect.
It's not but it's the Mario we deserve. So is that
exactly?
And then there's
a dark plumber.
Yes, and then there's Mario 3, and then there's
that's awesome.
Super Mario World, and then there's
awesome. Those are like
new Super Mario Bros. So it's all like the 2D ones, basically without the Mario 2 that America got, which was Doki Doki Panic, where you pick up a rutabaga and throw it at a Shy Guy, right?
That was a weird moment in my life when I found out that was not really a Mario game.
But it makes perfect sense, right?
Oh, of course. The minute that happened, I was like, well, duh.
It's like Mario on acid. So you can play those 4 different palettes. But the palettes are more than just palettes, really, because in Super Mario World, you have the ability to do the spin jump. And you also have the ability to wall slide and wall jump in New Super Mario Brothers U. So that kind of adds different dimensions. So what you can do is go to something called Course World. And Course World puts you at the fingertips away from every Mario course made from all over the world. And there's ones that are featured. There are ones that are starred. There's a bunch of ones that are just – you can go to YouTube and watch this, but they have like a bunch of automatic levels where you don't do anything. They are insane. It's just like you start the level and a little trampoline will bounce you onto like – you know those like skull some Super Mario World, but it's like 4 skulls that you ride on.
Yes.
Right? And there's one level where like a little dude jumps out of the lava and tries to get you.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of those where you kind of zip around on that all through the level, and there's stuff narrowly missing you, and it's just insane. And they've added a bunch of other stuff too, like a bunch of there's question mark mushrooms that you can get, and that'll turn you into Link or Samus or Zelda. Oh yeah, they have all those characters that you can turn into. Now, if you turn into Link, you don't have a sword, but you do kind of run around and jump like Mario, except you're in basically Link's clothes. You turn into Pikmin. You turn into Animal Crossing characters. It's basically you hit this mushroom and you turn into any one of the Smash Brothers characters and run around the level. But what I'm most excited about this game is that they will never run out of Mario levels ever in history because the world is making them. Like I'm playing Mario levels from people in Japan, Germany, France, Canada, US, like all over the world. All over the and even on the non-speaking English-speaking world, you can play these levels. So it's tremendous. The possibilities are absolutely endless. I'm looking forward to making some more levels. But it's fun just to kind of sit around and pass the controller around and have people try these Mario levels because some of them are unforgivably difficult and some of them are pretty easy and fun and creative. You get a trillion one-ups in a second or something. It's great. Super Mario Maker. If you have a Wii U, it's absolutely a must-have. Big fan. Big fan of that. So I'm going to be enjoying that from here to eternity. The 100 Mario Challenge, that'll be a lot of fun. 10 Mario Challenge is pretty fun. So the 100 Mario so they have in the game they have what's called the 10 Mario Challenge, where you have 10 lives to beat 8 levels. And in every level, you can get up to 3 one-ups. You can get more than that, but they only track 3. So if you're, on the last world and you say you're down to like your last life, you can get 3 one-ups to head to the last level, so you're okay. But they also have the 100 Mario Challenge, which is where you take on courses from all over the world. So the 10 Mario Challenges, you take on the courses that are included in the game. And then the 100 Mario Challenges, you take on courses from all over the world. So you have 100 lives to beat 16 levels. Which sounds like a lot, and it really is a lot, but there are levels where you just go on and on and on, and it's more difficult. But if you do come across a level you don't like, you can totally Tinder it and swipe it away. Which is, you can absolutely just,
swipe left on that level.
Yes, exactly. You can totally left swipe that level, and it's out of your hair forever. So yeah.
I got to say, Mario Maker, no chance of STIs, though, which is good, even though it's from all around the world. Not like Tinder.
Yes, yeah, it's very safe. It is very safe, and it's also fun to play the old Mario in widescreen too.
Yeah,
it plays in 16:9. Even though there is a mushroom you can get that puts a big filter over the screen to make it look like you're playing it in 1985.
Oh, like standard def, like crappy TV.
Oh yeah, with the lines and everything.
That's amazing. I gotta go on YouTube and watch someone else play that.
Yes, that's
because it's 2015. That's how I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah, that's true. No, I do that. I get on YouTube and I watch people play video games. Check out Midnight Game Room. Hopefully, I'll be on that again by the end of this year. But that's by my buddy Marty Harris. He's playing some stuff right now. But yeah, it's nice and nostalgic. But they add lots of like they add like laser shows and confetti and all sorts of weird things that aren't really inherent into Mario, but they add it for Mario Maker just. Because they can.
Why not? Let's have some fun, guys. Come on.
That's the idea.
Video games not taken so seriously. Serious people take their video games.
Yeah.
I'm partially joking.
Yeah, but I was at the store the other day, and I'm kind of looking around. I'm like, I guess PlayStation would be like drama, and Nintendo would be comedy because,
right?
They make less of them, but they're a little more fun. But PlayStation's great, but it is very serious. Yeah, serious games.
Serious. Yeah, well, that's fair.
But they're fun. Destiny's a pretty serious game, I suppose.
But they're still having ads for that. It came out.
Yeah, the white PlayStation looks pretty sweet.
does look good. The one that they released this a while back, but that 20th anniversary PlayStation 4, which is like the exact same gray kind of plastic as the original PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have an original PlayStation, but I did use one a lot at a friend's house growing up. So like, there's like part of me was like, yeah, like that's nice, man. I want that.
It is nice. Yeah, they sell the gray controllers, which are pretty cool.
Yeah,
if you're a PlayStation enthusiast.
Yeah, I think nostalgia is so amazing that it can make gray plastic seem not gross.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. All they need is like kind of like an old kind of like PC or Mac beige. Like one of those kind of the kind of yellows in certain lights.
We watched that YouTube video with drunk Jeff Goldblum being like, "What's the best gift this holiday season?" Internet. You see those? It's just like
no.
he used to do the Apple commercials back in the day. Be like, it's beige. One's beige. You get this box here. It's turquoise.
Is it because he used a Mac to save the planet?
I think so. I think that's it. But yeah, it's him doing Apple commercials back in the day, but they bring it down to half speed, so he sounds drunk.
Oh yeah,
and it's
especially Jeff Goldblum's a guy who could not sound less decisive.
This is beige, mumbling through it. So I think, Matt, we've reached the part in the show.
Yeah,
where we're going to talk about some stuff. But I also do want to mention too, if you're in the States and you have the Up Network, this Wednesday, watch Ties That Bind episode 9, and you'll see me in that.
Yeah,
Ties That Bind episode 9. It's entitled Legacy, and check it out.
Yeah, and if you haven't really watched the Up Network before, you just gotta make up yours.
Yes, make 7 up yours. So, first and foremostly, I probably watched The Martian in a different way than you did.
Right.
Have you heard?
I was blindfolded and partially
You're blindfolded, and somebody used a flamethrower. Yeah. Do you guys have? It's gonna sound douchey, but do you guys have what they call D-Box out there?
I don't think we fully do.
Okay.
We have IMAX. We have Ultra AVX.
Yes.
Which is just rip off IMAX.
Yeah.
But you can buy your seats like a plane or like an arena, which is super useful but so expensive.
Yeah. It is nice. Though.
Can you refresh the less gifted people of the world who don't have the ability to live in Vancouver what D-Box is? I assume it's douchebox. Is that right?
From how I was describing it, does sound like that.
I don't want to sound like a jerk, but you guys got this.
Yeah, I'm not a racist, but right.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and then go off on that.
Hey, don't talk about that with movies, man. People's brains are already going somewhere with that.
That's true. First of all, my ticket for The Martian, we saw it in AVX in Atmosphere. Yeah. I thought it was funny. It said Martian Atmosphere on it.
Nice.
I like that.
Which is bad. It's not a whole lot of atmosphere there.
It's terrible atmosphere. Don't recommend that atmosphere. So D-Box is it's 3 rows of red seats, and these seats are sitting on top of I'm going to call it a motor. Basically, your seat moves around during the movie, and it shakes and it dips and it turns as the camera turns. So we decided, and I got 2 tickets free because of Scene Points. Shout out to Scene.
Nice.
So yeah, it's me and my 3 buds. We're all in the D-Box seats, and it's got a little switch on your chair. You can like turn up the intensity or turn it down. You can turn it down for what, I suppose.
For what? I don't know what you would.
Yeah. Exactly. But your seat moves around. So The Martian starts off, and it's like a bunch of cool panning shots of the planet, of everybody working on that thing. And our seat, and I'm moving around in my chair right now because you can't see me.
Yeah, exactly. But if you were there in the room with Will, folks.
If you're there in the room. So your seat moves around, and I had it turned up to maximum intensity because I'm like, all right, I'm doing this. Your seat moves around. It shakes like during explosions and that sort of thing, or if like atmosphere is getting sucked out of something, it shakes a lot. But there were also like little vibrations and stuff during it that I was like, really? Like he takes a glove off and your chair goes, meep. And you're like, really?
I gotta feel it.
Took a glove out, and the thing. So the D-Box is neat. I'd recommend seeing it for a less important movie.
Right.
Because The Martian's one where you kind of, especially at the beginning, you kind of have to pay attention. Maybe you don't, but there's just a lot of calamity at the beginning, and your chair, if it, is a little distracting, shaking around. Because as a moviegoer, you're not used to that. unless you're watching
It's funny because movies do envelop your senses. Like you really are going to kind of put yourself into something else.
Yes.
And yet, if you use too many of your senses, it kind of takes you out of it because you're not used to that as a moviegoer.
Yes. So
like I'm fine with seeing and hearing stuff, but if you start putting things in my mouth during a movie, I'm confused.
Unless it's popcorn and you control the intake, right?
Well, exactly. The movie was doing that. I don't know how I'd feel.
That's fine. So shook around and it was cool, but I think that's one of the reasons it was a little distracting for me. It's because as moviegoers, you're not used to your chair, beeping and blooping around like that.
Yeah.
So like I wouldn't sit in that for something like Star Wars, which is the most important movie ever made of all time ever, right? But I'd sit in that maybe if they made like another Wrath of the Titans movie. I'd sit in it for that because it's like this movie sucks. I might as well move around in this seat.
Oh, you know what? Can it do any like forward motion? Because I feel like Fast and Furious would be also goody for that.
Fast and Furious would be amazing for it. Yeah, it does do forward motion. In fact, so much so that it feels like you're going to fall out of it feels like you're going to push out of the chair. But if it falls forward and comes back and it goes from side to side and shakes around, it's cool. And I had a coffee during the movie. Thankfully, the coffee stayed not spilled in my lap.
Oh, good.
Because that would have ruined my experience. So
a movie with a coffee, I don't know how I'd be able to do that.
So yeah, that's my movie with the coffee of the movie. I do it all the time. I do it all the time now.
How much is a coffee at the theater, Will?
It's the same price.
Oh,
it's same price. It's actually less because of the scene card.
Oh, very.
It's the one thing they don't mark up. So a little pro
they don't
movie
mark
tip.
Watney it.
They don't mark Watney it.
Which I suppose would just be like improvising something and then having it go wrong.
Or they grow the coffee beans from the sealed packets of waste, and
so we're gonna spoil this movie. Hopefully you've seen it.
Hopefully you've seen it or have read the book.
Yes, exactly.
Or have read the book, unless you just like, and if you're totally not interested and you just want to hear two guys discuss it and spoil it, then this is the show for you. But from here on out, we're going to discuss in depth The Martian and spoil the heck out of it. So
real quick though, before we do that, can we talk spoilers about two trailers?
Yes, spoilers about trailers.
One you've definitely seen, one you may have seen with it. So in front of my screening of The Martian was the trailer for David O. Russell's Joy.
Yes, yeah.
And, just stop, David O. Russell. We get it. You think Jennifer Lawrence can play a 40-year-old woman.
That was kind of everybody's reaction. And I saw the trailer for Joy before this, but also just sitting through it, I'm like, I don't think anybody in the theater is excited for this.
Yeah.
I think it's just another David O. Russell Christmas, movie at Christmas time, and it's just him doing the same thing, but he kind of ran out of people. A lot of people didn't like American Hustle. I think he ran out of his goodwill there. So
yeah, I think that's I like the fighter.
Feel the audience not like it.
I don't
Fighter was sweet.
That guy.
Fighter was sweet, but I could feel. I kind of feel the audience being like, felt them. Not enjoying that. Anyway,
it's true. Yeah, and then I saw the trailer for The Revenant, which I hadn't seen up to that point.
What do you think of the trailer?
Well, part of me was kind of like, is Inarritu doing that whole Birdman thing again? But putting it like outside in that context was like, oh wow, that movie looks like something to behold.
Oh my God.
It really seems like something.
Yeah, man, it looks incredible. Sweet. That last shot of like following him on a horse, and he shoots a guy, and the shot stays with him. I think they shot that in Calgary.
Yeah, like just in Alberta, or all sorts of like when you look at it, you're like, oh, that looks like Canada.
It looked like hell to shoot because that's Calgary at wintertime. It looks like a terrible time. But it's Leo versus Tom Hardy.
Oh, is that the idea of it? Because
I think that's the idea of it. Yeah,
I had a moment. I hope other people have had this moment in trailers before, where it's like Leo DiCaprio, shot of Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
I didn't know he was in this movie.
That's the point. That's the point of trailers, man.
Oh, I loved it though.
That's the great part.
A moment of like, so
Tom
good.
Hardy looking all crazy with a beard.
Like, so good. Tom Hardy does so good. If they have to cast James Bond tomorrow, please let it be Tom Hardy. Oh gosh.
Yeah. So that was sweet. I also had a trailer for Steve Jobs, and I actually didn't see a trailer for it. But the trailer, it's the trailer where both sides of the screen kind of converge.
Yes.
And then that was a sweet trailer.
It's good. It's a goodie, man.
And it looks like
it's with Seth Rogen talking about like
he's like,
you're not an inventor.
They know he's the guy. He's like, your Apple stock is worth $441 million, and your wife and your daughter are off. So I'm like, okay, does not look like a hero worship of Steve Jobs movie.
No,
this one looks raw, and Fassbender looks awesome.
Fassbender does look awesome. He gets that Oscar moment where he gets to yell.
He's right.
It's not my daughter. Oh,
yeah.
So good.
Oh yeah. He's like, I never learned how to read. Is that true?
Exactly.
Oh, I think that every time I see a yelly scene in a movie, that's what I'm talking about with the end of the tour, right? Where it's like he has his Oscar moment, but it's very, very subdued. I was like, that's great. I love that. That's wonderful. So that, and we also saw the trailer for not The Heart of the Sea, but Active. Well, what the heck's it called? The one with Chris Pine with the Boston accent.
I don't know. A couple of C movies.
A couple of C movies. I mean, B plus, hopefully. But they are a couple of C movies. And it was ruined for me when one of the guys who went to see the movie was like, it'd be cool if we saw a Star Wars trailer before this. I'm like, oh, it would be.
I'd love that.
I saw a poster for Star Wars at the theater, and all it said was Star, The Force Awakens, Wars, December 18th. Like,
I think
that's
that's all they have. Like, which is kind of crazy.
No, I think I think they do have a poster, but it's like apparently there's some stuff they're still keeping under wraps about the movie. Which big
like
fan
all the
of that.
toys are from the first like third of the movie.
All the toys are just the toys of stuff we've already seen.
Oh, that's so interesting. Like, oh my gosh, stuff like that is like you are releasing this movie in such an interesting way.
Yes, and they're being very careful, and they have to be.
Okay, space movie.
Anyway, space movie. So The Martian's a lot like Star Wars. It's about Mark Watney, who's a farm boy who wants to join the rebellion against the Empire, but his aunt and uncle won't let him, and he knows about this. Okay,
all right,
obviously not.
Will, what did you think of this movie? Okay, Matt Damon is stranded on Mars. He has to try to get off. People on Earth are trying to get him. He doesn't
have to try to get off. He has to try to survive.
Try to survive, exactly.
Until someone shows up, and then he'll get off planet. I should also mention. So first of all, I would go so far to say I love this movie.
Yeah,
LOV. I love space stuff. This was much more scientifically sound than Interstellar was last year.
Now,
Interstellar was a movie. It'll definitely draw
I got to take a little bit of exception with that because I think Interstellar is just a little further in the future.
It's a little further in the future, and it's a little like they kind of set it up to be a little more, I don't know how to describe it, flouncy, I guess.
That's decent.
It starts with a guy and his girl's like, there's a ghost in my room and that sort of thing. So right away you're kind of like, all right, this is going to be kind of weird probably later on down the line. And also the Interstellar is talking about deep space travel, which I find so interesting.
Yeah.
The Martian is a little more plausible, right? We're talking about manned missions to Mars.
Something that I would say we're probably going to get in the next, like within our lifetime.
Is a manned mission?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So to Mars, now that we found the
I'd be surprised if you hit. Well, I'd be surprised if I hit 40 before we had a manned mission on Mars.
I'd be surprised if you hit 40 at all. But
thanks, man. I know I gotta watch the diet.
That was just.
Hey, I have a poutine for breakfast every day, and I feel great.
That was a dark joke. I apologize.
That's okay.
To our sensitive listeners. So yeah, I go so far to say I love this film. I watched it with Ian Hanlon, his friend of the show. Who him and I don't know. We don't know about the book. We don't know about books. Okay, we don't know.
Right. You're not familiar with that either.
Book. So we never read the book, and we went with two people that did, and all four of us were like, "Great." So that's good, right? Good sign if people who like the books are like, "Yeah, pretty dead on," except for something at the end, which we'll get to. So,
which I think was an excellent choice. Moving on.
There you go. Good. This movie is great. One of the reasons it's great is because, first of all, it's probably the best thing Ridley Scott's done in a long time.
Yeah. Oh, certainly.
And it was written by Drew Goddard, close personal friend of mine. Obviously.
Have you ever had any encounters with Drew Goddard?
Yeah. Cabin in the Woods with him and Joss. I met him. I talked about it on the show.
You met okay. See, that's one of those things where I didn't really put together the fact that it's like, oh, yeah, like the other interesting part of that is Drew Goddard, a guy who is really like having a pretty good career in the last few years.
He's not too bad.
One of the bigger screenwriters the last couple of years.
Yeah, not doing bad at all. Yeah, I know him. Well, I met him once. So it's written by Drew Goddard. One of the best things Ridley Scott's made in a long time. Since I don't know when, actually. Maybe since Blade Runner. Maybe that's mean. But it's been a while for Ridley. It's probably based on the strength of material here is why it's such a success. There are so many moments where it's like, okay, they relay so much scientific stuff without it being boring at all. It's like, all right, so I'm here and I got to do this. And then I got to do this. Okay, here we go. And there's so many moments where they go back to NASA, back on Earth. And there's so many moments like, all right, so if we make this pod, it's got to lose 5,000 kilograms. All right, so it's just him, so we can lose this, we can lose this. And so much of that stuff without it being boring at all. It's all captivating.
Mm-hmm. They did a very good job with that in the movie, especially. In the book, there's some pretty deep dives, which is fine.
Well, it's written by a software developer, is he?
Who's got kind of a pacifist sort of thing, and it was kind of peer edited by some NASA and space enthusiasts along the way.
Some NASA space enthusiasts, but this guy Andy Weir, who wrote the book, is one of the programmers of Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness. Remember that game? I played that game. That game's awesome. It's a 20-year-old game, but it's sweet. This guy was a software developer, worked on Warcraft, and then from what I understand, he was writing little it's kind of like journal entries. He was writing piece by piece, and then somebody asked him to put it all together and put it on Kindle. And eventually he made it into a book, and then things moved pretty quickly for him from there, right? He made it a book, and then right away Ridley Scott's like, me, mine, want it.
I'll take that, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take that, yes. Yoink. He yoinked it away. So that's one of the reasons it's so successful is because just the book is
What makes the movie successful, Will?
Is first of all, the cast is all good. Cast
just about perfect casting, good. I would say.
Yeah, it is. Casting is all good. The effects are all good. Mars looks awesome.
I'm surprised they were able to shoot on Mars, actually.
Well, actually, no. They actually shot in California because it's out of water. Yeah. No. I took that joke from Trevor Noah. Like, they found water on Mars. Don't worry, California. They might find water on you someday.
Oh gosh.
So the casting's perfect. Matt Damon is wonderful. The effects are sweet. It moves along it's almost 2.5 hours long, but it moves at a nice clip. And it's just sweet. It's basically, even like Apollo 13 was a true story. This one isn't, but it feels like it really could be.
For sure.
It does feel like it. So the movie starts out, and we get it going right away. They're doing it's not like, all right, we're going to go to Mars and it's dangerous, but you could get left behind. But that one happened. Don't worry. No, it starts. They're all working, right? It's him and Sue Storm and Bucky Barnes are working out there. And the guy from Ant-Man. I forgot Pena was Ant-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be hard-pressed to find an
Maya
actor
from the
now.
CIA who hunted down Bin Laden, also there.
That's right. You'll be hard-pressed to find somebody in movies now who isn't part of the Marvel universe at some juncture. But they're all working on the thing, and then they have to go because of a storm, and they leave who they think is dead, Mark Watney, behind. They have a big Harry Lloyd has a big not Harry Lloyd, Harry Dunn, sorry.
of Harry and Lloyd.
Of Harry and Lloyd. Harry Dunn has a funeral for Mark back home. But of course our boy is still alive up on Mars. And he's stuck there, and like the trailer suggests, he's like, all right, so I have this many days to grow this much food and all this sort of thing. And he's got to not get off the planet. He has to survive it. Back home, they're like,
well, he knows well enough that there's 4 years to go or somewhere in there until the next mission comes. It's safe to assume he'll get it.
Until the next mission could come, because they weren't planning one after that, were they?
They were, yeah. So they were planning, and they mentioned when Chiwetel Ejiofor pops up in the movie, or whatever his name was from 12 Years a Slave.
It was crap.
Gosh, Solomon something?
Solomon Northrop. Yeah, there.
Sorry, apologies to the real real person who was that. But Chiwetel Ejiofor shows up and he says, "I think we could get a 6th mission out of it." And if you remember, that was Ares 3, the 3rd mission they're on. So there's 2 more planned. That's also true in the book.
Yeah.
So they're going to do 2 more.
They're going to do 2 more. The crew.
One thing I want to mention real quick too, and I can go through a couple differences. Is that there's a lot more of Chiwetel Ejiofor's character Vincent Kapoor in the book, and I feel like a lot more of him is in Jeff Daniels.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not that the character's different. I think the focus is a little bit more, which makes sense because they have there's a lot of kind of seniority going on there. A lot of leaders.
There are a lot of leaders. There's Vincent Kapoor. There's Jeff Daniels, who's the director of NASA. There's Sean Bean, who's the flight director for the Hermes, which is the craft that is taking the people away from Mars.
To and from Mars.
To and from Mars is the Hermes. And then there's Chiwetel Ejiofor, who's the what is he again? He's like the
I think he's the program director for the Ares space flights.
For the space.
Yeah, I think that's the point of it. Something I really want to kind of give props to the movie for as well is in the book, Vincent Kapoor is Venki Kapoor, and he's very clearly an Indian guy. I say that because the audiobook, the guy who did it did an Indian accent.
Nice.
And to kind of, but people were like, well, how he has the same name and he's clearly a black man, not an Indian man. How does that work? But in the movie, they make a reference to the fact that his mother was Baptist and his father was Hindu. So that kind of it hits it perfectly. Very well done.
Yeah. Also,
I don't know the actor's full name. I think his first name is Bruce, or maybe it's his character's name. But he's the Asian gentleman who's in charge of JPL. He was very well done as well.
He was very well done.
Kind of perfect, actually.
Yeah, his character's named Bruce, and the actor's name is Benedict Wong.
Okay, yes, that's right. See, I was going to guess his last name, but it wasn't going to go well.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
He was great. He's working with the JPL guys, and he's basically
Jet Propulsion Lab in California.
The JPL guys are also stands for Jasper Park Lodge, which I didn't know. Shout out to Jasper. They were great because they're the guys who were like, Jeff Daniels suggests something. He's like, I know, and you're going to say that's impossible. You're going to say the overtime alone is going to be a lot, but I want you to just do it. Like, there's a lot of great stuff. There's one moment where they tell Mark something like that ridiculous he has to do to get off the planet. Basically, the exit pod has to be stripped of, I mentioned earlier, 5,000 kilograms of stuff. So he has to throw out chairs and this, and he has to throw out the nose and the windows. So he has to launch into space with a tarp over him. And earlier, too, they do a pretty funny thing where he's messaging NASA, and he's swearing because he's rather upset up there. And they're just like, Mark, don't do that. Everyone is watching these transmissions. He's like, oh, really? And they have just a great reaction shot of people. But
reacting to what you can only imagine is some of the most obscene things.
Some very obscene things, right?
Yeah. NASA, so.
And there's one where he's like, yeah, so you're going to have to go up into space and you do this and this. And he goes, are you effing kidding me? And Chiwetel's like, I think he means, are you kidding me?
Oh, I love that. That was a really good moment.
He shares that with an actress. Yeah,
oh gosh, I know. I think her name's Mindy Park in the movie Mackenzie something. She's
Mackenzie
Catch
Davis.
Fire. She plays Mackenzie Davis. She plays pretty much the same character, only 30 years in the future.
Yeah, and she's
from
Vancouver.
Is she? She's a native Vancouverite.
Yeah, from Vancouver. Yeah,
good for her.
Good Canadian kid, right? Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
So there's some great moments like that where it's just like, the stakes couldn't be higher. But the way, first of all, the character of Mark Watney, the way he deals with things and the humor with which he deals with it is one of the more endearing parts of the whole story. Because if he's up there and he's just like, oh, I'm stuck and I won't be able to get out, then that's not a good move. That's not fun, right?
Yeah,
but this
guy
is just like, all right, so I just got to take on see the problem. Negotiate it through in my mind and take action, which is kind of at the end when he's back on Earth and he's teaching a class, and they end the movie in a great way. But he's like, all right, you're going to think that you're going to die, but you won't. Just analyze the problem and just go and think, and calculate it. Any questions? Everybody in the class raised their hand.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
It's a good moment.
Also good body double work near the end when he's up there for a long time and he's super skinny.
You know what? I don't think that was a body double.
You don't think so? Because I think they would have showed his face.
I don't think it was Matt Damon, but I think it was probably CGI. I think they probably did the.
Well, maybe. I guess
I think they did what the Captain America thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because how do you cast that? Right? We need someone who's emaciated.
There's emaciated actors. Tell you what, you go down
starving actors, right?
That's right. Yeah, begging for a part, but they can't have lunch on set.
Yeah,
they can't eat. So anyway, that was us at the end of the movie. But yeah, the whole movie is him dealing with how to live up there, and of course, just when everything's going perfectly well. Somebody said, and that's assuming everything goes to plan, or that's assuming no other problems. He's on a very harsh planet, and of course something's going to go wrong. And the worst thing happens when the hab basically explodes.
The hab being where he stays.
Yeah, it's the habitat. Yeah, it was where he stays. Like he basically terraformed like a little. He made a garden. He's a botanist, so he made a little garden, and he figured out how to plant potato plants. And that whole thing just gets blown away. So he has to deal with, kind of starting from zero again and taping up the hab wall with just plastic and a bunch of tape and listening to the Martian, basically listening to the Martian weather. You imagine like if you're out camping and you're in your tent and it's a storm outside, right? That's an Earth storm, which can be very bad, but we know how to deal with Earth storms. On Earth and all, not to brag. But this guy's dealing with Martian weather. Like, this is like, you can't even, there's probably stuff going on in Martian weather we never saw ever before.
Yeah.
Because it's Martian weather. Like, we don't know it. Like, that's the scariest thing.
It's like a giant Middle East, too, when it comes to dust storms. There's just tons of it.
Yeah. It's just so awful. Also, now, the space outfits in this one, the space suits that they had on Mars.
Yeah.
They were kind of cool and practical. They had some knee pads and elbow pads. Something
that I was kind of like, watching the movie, there's a very normal scene where the crew that had unintentionally abandoned Mark Watney, led by Jessica Chastain, they're just kind of hanging out and talking about what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. And there's a moment where Jessica Chastain is wearing just like a NASA hoodie, and it's the kind of thing that you look at, you're like, oh, like it's kind of like a sport team hoodie. If you're the coach for the Ravens.
That's right. If you're John Harbaugh.
If you're John Harbaugh, you probably have a hoodie you can wear around, and you're part of that team. And I was like, oh, it's cool. She's part of the NASA team, so she gets a NASA hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
And it looked really nice and really well stitched. I hope she got that after the shoot.
I hope so, too. Also, cool. I did mention earlier, we'd mentioned our football teams. All I'll say is that the Ravens won. And good for them.
They did, and
the Steelers released their kicker. They released Scobie, and they picked up a new guy. That's Roof Stoof. So the NASA hoodie, very cool. Well, that was one of the cool things. Hey, I'm going to bring it back to me about working on Defying Gravity. Is that we worked for a company called ISO, which is basically NASA, right? It's the International Space Organization. Mm-hmm. But they had like ISO. Yeah, they had ISO jackets and stuff branded with the ISO stuff. I should have stolen way more stuff.
Oh, for sure. Way more, like Will.
Wait, did you steal anything at all? I didn't. No, I didn't steal anything.
Good for you. Okay, we're kind of coming to the end here. I want to touch on a couple of things that were related to the book, though, too, if I could.
Yes, please. I insist.
Yeah. So, like at the
end, like I mentioned,
sure. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the book, Mark Watney is blasting into space. And he's going to miss the connection with the Hermes crew
because it's impossible. Like the Hermes crew had to, because of Donald Glover, they had to ricochet around Earth and come back. And they're trying to intercept this thing that really isn't supposed to make it up that far.
Right. It's not designed for this at all.
It's not designed for this at all. Yeah. No.
And so they're going to miss it. So they do a few different things. They blow up part of the ship, which is in the book. And then there's in the movie, Jessica Chastain is kind of in like that kind of dorky like jetpack chair thing that's tethered to the ship.
Hey man, that thing's awesome.
It looks dorky though.
It looks super dorky.
It's super dorky, but it's good they have it. So in the book, it's the Sebastian Shaw character.
Sebastian Shaw is the guy who played Anakin in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So he's there with Vogel, the German guy, and he's supposed to be tethered. He can't make it, so he untethers and goes and gets him, and then he comes in afterwards. So in the movie, I mean, I can see where Drew Gotter's coming from. They have to have Matt Damon do something. Like he needs to be active. He's the protagonist. You can't have your protagonist just kind of
hang there, be like,
So he initially suggests doing, and he name drops it too, where he says, "I can do the Iron Man thing, where I use my the release of air from my hand to kind of blast my way toward you."
Yeah.
And at first they're like, "No, don't do that. We'll do that with our ship and blowing a hole in it." And so he ends up having to do it, and so he kind of like blasts his way, and he's like spinning crazily through space towards Jessica Chastain before.
Well, for one brief moment, he's shooting out of his hand, and his other hand is kind of like punching the sky. Like he does kind of look like he's Iron Man.
Oh, fully.
I was wishing he'd go further with that. He'd be like, I'll punch a hole in both hands, and then both my feet, and I'll rock towards you guys, and I'll get
I'll
Jarvis
fully
to
die,
tell me.
That's not good. Because he's essentially saying, let's get a suit breach. Before I forget it, there's a moment which is also in the book where there's a secret plan that Donald Glover's coming up with, and they nickname the meeting when they talk about the plan Elrond, like the Council of Elrond.
Yes.
Now, in the book, that's just kind of a funny name drop. in the movie,
it's
Sean
hilarious.
Bean is there. And Sean Bean is in the cinematic council that we're on. And he mentions, he just kind of, he thinks he says something about it.
Yeah.
Which is such a funny moment where, like,
he says only secret meeting.
Meeting. All it was missing was, like, a one shot of him winking. That's all. That's all it needed to have.
Well, yeah. I think that may have gone a little too far.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, that was hilarious. And
that was enjoyable, and I didn't even think about it from the casting.
Patting myself on the back so hard for catching that.
One other thing I want to touch.
One
other thing I want to touch on.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, this is some. They talk about Iron Man, talk about that sort of Lord of the Rings. It's a bit nerdy. It's nice, but the one of the other things I want to touch on is why there are potatoes on Mars at all. Because Mark Watney farms potatoes. And in the movie, it's still the same reason. It's just not very obvious because he takes a box out of like a fridge that says "Do not open before Thanksgiving." Because when they're up there, it's going to be taking place over American Thanksgiving, and it's said that NASA is giving them like actual like turkey and potatoes and cranberry sauce and things like that. So
it's very American of them.
Mm-hmm, yeah, like they want to like give them a proper Thanksgiving. It'll be good for crew morale.
They probably broadcast it all over the world, too.
Sure, yeah. I think Mark Watney's kind of like, whatever. Like, it's kind of like a little thing they did. Mm-hmm. But he's grateful they're there because then now he can grow potatoes.
Yes.
That's why they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're running along. Will, do you have anything you want to kind of add or kind of cap off the movie?
We're running long. Do you want to talk longer? No, I
want to give you a chance before we shut her down.
There's way more to discuss about this movie, but I know we spoiled the heck out of it. If you enjoyed it, let us know, or if not, let us know the other way. But I think this is just a triumph on all levels. It's the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life. 2 out of 10.
11 stars.
2 out of 10.
Out of 5.
Out of 5. But yeah, we'll be on Twitter. I'm at William C. Vaughn, and Matthew's at.
I was going to say at William C. Vaughn. Hey, no, at MP Vaughn.
And you can follow Alex at alexanderjvaughn.wordpress.com. Did I get that right?
But you can also follow him at Evonix.
At Evonix, and there'll be links to that, or add him on Facebook. Be his friend.
Yeah, he's updating pretty consistently every couple days or so.
You're doing a good job.
I think he's having fun. I don't think he misses us too much.
I don't think he misses us at all. I don't think we'll ever see him again on this podcast. Not that we see him, but I don't think we'll ever see him again.
If only in our dreams.
If only in our dreams. Oh, and also Jessica Chastain is so attractive it hurts. I just wanted to throw that out there too. Right? It's like outrageous.
We are Chas fans in this.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, Chas. Yeah, we'll stay.
Chased heads? Chest?
No. Yeah, that's not a good way to go. Join us next week where I'll describe verbally every single Mario Maker level that I've made. Excellent. And so there's a block in the upper left corner, and you hit that.
Okay, now I really want you to imagine this here.
Yeah, you really got to use
Mario, and he wants to get up there.
Yes, theater of the mind's eye. He's a little fat Italian guy, but he jumps like crazy. It's great.
Oh, he's like a spider. It's like twice his height.
Yeah, exactly. He does everything a spider can. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.